lived on the ground, the constant event of the ground being trodden upon. With its repetition, path is created, which leads to the apparition of shapes, shape. Today I come to you carrying 16 shapes habiting in 16 houses, ready to be reflected into the future in which I, al-raml, the mother of sand, will breach. You are standing between the knower and the known. There are 16 doors. I come to you so we, together, refigure every opening.
At this very moment in time and space, as we stand here to become Aisha Qandisha and al-raml, and shift roles back and forth between a monstrous and human axis, and as we look for ways to position this story, to lead al-raml, the mother of sand, into unlocking of each door, we want to remind you, dear audience, that although it may not seem so, but this space contains no left and right, no up and down, no front and behind. While you keep distance, we will be orienting and disorienting you for this experimentation and a practice of refiguration and fabulation. We come with a question for a catastrophe we wish to solve, unlocking doors and interpreting every element and shape. We ask that you pay attention and use every sense of your body to see us, although we might seem invisible. In this practice of revealing and breaching and telling the future, we ask that you, dear audience, recognize that we do not stand on the same ground, although it may not seem so. We begin with an order. As I crack each human body open, you open the path. We enter, enter, enter. And to begin, and as you witness, we open a door. First door, the house of the almond. Find yourself here, east, south.
0001. عتبت خارج. Time, present, fire. Fire in fire. We are on the threshold of a catastrophe. Our body and soul are entangled. We are grounded.
Second door, the house of wealth. Find yourself here, east, north.
0011. نصرت خارج. Time, future, wind. Today's catastrophe will be the future's material wealth. The wealth will become ours. The future is wind. The wind will bless our fire.
Third door, the house of sisters and brothers. Find yourself here, east, west.
0101. قبض خارج. Time, past, water. Sisters, brothers, our house was on water. It was moving towards where water falls. Falling for the knowledge, hoping for its guidance. But we were fire on the water, hostile to one another.
Fourth door, the house of ancestors. Find yourself here, west, south.
One, 100. Nusrat Dakhil. Time, present, Earth. Here now, we are Earth. We are back to the present, once again on the threshold of a catastrophe. Lost together with our ancestors, our entrance is dangerous. Use caution.
In the Islamic culture, jinn are fearsome and honored creatures that reveal themselves to humans to solve or create a catastrophic situation. Aisha Qandisha is one of the most known jinn of the Arab world. When she possesses humans, she creates a crack on their bodies. She lays them open, butchered open to an outside. If one does not open up for this process of destruction and rebuilding, it will result in incurable delirium and madness. If I am known as the opener of the bodies, al-raml, the mother of sand, is the opener of time and space. In her practice of Rammali, the science of geomancy, she uses rationalities to understand the beyond and to reveal the unseen, the wondrous. Her method of divination is to interpret dots, lines, and shapes, and to open doors. Divination is understood as a self-generative practice of which the time is present, future, past, and present. In the tradition of Rammali, we travel to a lineage of time unfamiliar perhaps by the Western standards. In these temporal rituals of opening path toward these time zones, and according to charts and books of Rammali, the future has potential power, and it is actually knowable. It's the time tense that is the most reliable. The past lacks power in determining the future. It is said that it's a lost cause, a weak point in helping us to know and see. It is present, repeated twice in the reading of shapes and elements, that is the most powerful force in how and what we see in the future. The present has intentional power. It is not about desire or prediction, but what will become a reality. Rammali comes from pre-Islamic Arab origin. We are told that it was practiced initially by precarious city dwellers who had just been introduced to urban life but had no occupations. So they invented a craft they called sand writing in order to make a living. But they also found it difficult to establish the altitude of stars by means of instruments and to find the adjusted positions of the stars through calculation. Therefore, they invented their combination of figures. For 16 combinations, they created 16 houses. Each house is a natural element that corresponds to the 12 zodiac and 4 cardines. The sky became their sphere for imagination and data. They became the receivers and translators on earth. It is this potential of time traveling that gives al-raml and I control and possession over a future unknown and unreachable to others. Through the openings of every door in the present, we saw warnings about a catastrophe. The first door revealed itself as the door of self, asking us to invest in a world beyond what's immediately perceivable. As we opened the second door, the door of the future, we were promised a resolution that would bring us comfort. The third door reminded us of a past that have led us into this very present. The fourth door, the house that wants us to be cautious and protective. Fifth door, the house of love and children. Find yourself here, east.
Zero, 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 one. Time, future, fire. Leaders and messengers will bring us light. They are our power and ammunition.
Sixth door, the house of the suffered. Find yourself here, east.
Zero, zero, one, one. Nusrat Kharij. Time, past, wind. The suffered was rageous. There was a war. In a nightmare, a jinn appeared, warned us of a horrifying event. Our eyes were tearful.
Seventh door, the house of allies. Find yourself here, west, north.
Zero, one, zero, zero. Naqi al-Khat. Time, present, water. Now on the water, inflowed from our tears, we are drowning. There is no sign of fire.
Eighth door, the house of death. Find yourself here, south.
One, 1110. Future Earth. We are in tears. The earth is dry. It absorbs us for an honorable death. Our bodies merge to a return. We are grounded.
In 1998, at the age of 13, I spent the whole summer obsessively watching the movie Titanic over and over. That very summer, due to drought, our water supply alternated between two major zones on odd and even days in Tehran. Titanic made that waterless hot summer a more tolerable reality, allowing for a lazy stretch of days between a factual and fictional catastrophe made possible by two ironic binary power plays of nature. Later in life, I thought back a lot about that summer, realizing the key coincidence was actually not the water, but the lifeboat, both as an object and a metaphor. The lifeboat that in Titanic rescued a large number of first-class passengers, while the lower class or weak or disabled others froze and drowned. That very lifeboat taught me that political and ecological catastrophe are not shared equally. For the sake of this story, recall where you were when you first watched Titanic, and if limited access to natural resources or living under a corrupted system left you with a similar memory. Because catastrophe is political and uneven, survival is political and uneven, fire is political and uneven, earth is political and uneven, wind is political and uneven, water is political and uneven. This is about colonial catastrophism and the problem of cozy catastrophism, when our dreams and fears and nightmares are picked and chosen and amplified unequally, and how we must behave towards a future not built for us. As we open the fourth door in the future, we were promised light and guidance. As we opened the fifth door, the house of suffered, we saw tears and water, followed by the sixth door, where we are shown that our allies are with us at this very present, but like us, they're in pain. Together, we're drowning. The eighth door revealed an ending, a death, an honorable death in which we absorb and become one with the earth. The soil of lands we are told we do not belong to, the lands we are unwelcomed, banned, and rejected from. We are here and we will stay. Ninth door, the house of travel. Find yourself here, west by west.
One, 101, Bayaz. We are heading to the west. The entrance was on fire.
Tenth door, the house of mother. Find yourself here, unsettled north.
Zero, 110. Her movement is limited. Her access is denied. Time, present, win.
Eleventh door, the house of hope. Find yourself here, west by west.
One, 101, Bayaz. Time, future, water. We hope the catastrophe will be over. We hope the future will be in the house of friends. We hope there will be victory.
Twelfth door, the house of enemy. Find yourself here, east by east.
Zero, 101, Qabz Kharij. Time past earth. As fire burned on soil, we became deceived and exhausted. We needed a guidance. Embassy of the United States of America Presidential Proclamation. Applicant Shirin Fahimi. Date of interview, April 27, 2018. This is to inform you that a consular officer found you ineligible for a visa under Section 212F of the Immigration and Nationality Act, pursuant to Presidential Proclamation 9645. Today's decision cannot be appealed. Regards, non-immigrant visa unit. The violence of borders are not only at borders. They extend to and beyond maps and geographical lines. The violence of borders extend to our bodies, the controlled, banned, and rejected bodies. They extend to where and what spaces we are given access to, both before and after we cross borders. As we opened the door of travel and the door of mothers, we were surrounded by fire and chaos. We were denied access. The house of hope, the one in the future and one in the past, gave us hope. But in our reading and interpretation of this hope, we agreed that it is not about the hope towards a better and brighter future. It is a hope that is interpreted as an intention we set in the present towards this future. The house of enemy reminded us of an exhausted past. Together, these two doors allowed us to encourage existence at the messy edge of failed realities and unsolvable, ongoing crises of the present. Sometimes something that could actually be optimistic and positive, but also dystopian.
You are in doubt.
Fourteenth door, the left, witness 0111.
As the left witness, I am the mirror of al-raml. In the house of wind, I see the abolishment of the oppressor.
Fifteenth door, the judge of the raml 1100.
As the judge, I'm in the house of water. Your struggles become your power. The soil is in the water. Catastrophe will be favorable.
Sixteenth door, the tongue of the teller 0010.
In the house of soil, our destination is open. All directions are clear.
Dear audience, you have become our observer, our protector, our witness, our mirror, our judge. Every opening in your body has given us the chance to lose and gain hope at the same time. So find yourself here in both dystopia and utopia. Find yourself here in a world in which our bodies resist to shrink and our voices are unapologetic. Find yourself here among the immigrant, the asylum seeker, the ones born and raised and dead under wars and sanctions. So we've opened doors so that we can stay still or go back or ahead freely. So that we can reimagine alternative multiple futures and worlds, fantasized, dreamed, and built by us, for us. We have opened doors not just as a search for the unknown, but as a source of transformation, empowerment, and hope. The future we want to live in, and as we are promised, is a future open in all directions. It is knowable, and it is our intention of the present to see it, and tell it, and be in it. It is a future for non-male, non-cis, non-white, non-Western. A future for those people who have at one time or another been considered less than by the social systems that oppress them. This is a practice, a lecture, a performance, and a ritual for reconfiguring reality towards other futures, so that we can collapse the political notion of linear space and time as an act of resistance. We have entered 16 times and will continue to enter. We'll enter the borders, dreams, nightmares, and most importantly, the future. Thank you.
Hey all, that wraps up the Refiguring the Future conference. Thank you so much for spending the past 2 days with us, and thank you to all of our speakers, performers, workshop leaders for providing all of this content for the past 2 amazing days. Thank you.